Hey everyone, good evening, Hafa Adai. Sorry, I'm still kind of like prepping, kind of. Gotta put my hair up. Gotta put my apron on. But hopefully everybody's had a wonderful Thursday. For all my fellow gig workers out there, if you guys are working, make that money, but y'all stay safe. I'll show you guys here in a minute. In case y'all didn't see the thumbnail for tonight's video live stream, cooking live stream. And if you guys see mess behind me in that direction, just cover your eyes. We're downsizing a lot of our stuff that we have buried in boxes. So we've been going through a lot of stuff and we have stuff scattered everywhere. Sorry, bear with me a moment. No. Go back. All right, here we go. Okay. So, but like I said, good evening, Hafa Adai. Let me wash my hands again after touching my hair. Or at least just rinse my hands. Okay. So here's what we have on tonight's menu. For my fellow islanders out there, you guys probably might have an idea of what's cooking, but tonight I am working with pork ribs, which I will be cooking with a little bit of onions, working with soy sauce and vinegar, a little bit of water, and then I have rice already cooking, but tonight is going to be the first time that I'm going to be working and cooking with asparagus, cooking asparagus. So tonight's menu, again, for those of you guys that might be a little familiar with this, I thought it was stufao, but I was corrected by my mom tonight. When you are cooking with pork, it's called adobo. But if I were using the same ingredients, but instead of pork ribs, if it was chicken, then it would be estufado. So I asked her why is that, but I guess because the protein changes, so the name of it changes. So I thought I was making stufao for dinner, but I am actually making adobo. So hopefully you guys will hang out with me as I make this, because I've done the stufao, the chicken version. I've never made adobo with the ribs. So again, hopefully you guys will hang out with me while I get this done. First thing we're going to do is chop up some white onions. Actually, this is the sweet onions. When we're done cooking and you're getting ready to plate, that's when we'll throw on some green onions. And then as soon as I get the meat into the pot, and while that's cooking, I'll prep this, and this will go into the oven, which I will be seasoning with this buttery garlic herb. This is really yummy. And it was recommended by a fellow viewer, which I kind of had in my mind to do this, but she said to make sure when you're done, when you're getting ready cooking it, you can put some melted butter on this. I've never eaten asparagus, so tonight's going to be the first time. But before I do the meat, I'm going to go ahead and prep the onion. I don't use a lot of onion, so let's go ahead and bring this down a little bit. Let's see who's here. Hey, Terry. Good evening. Hi, Denise. You can also throw a little bit of cheese on towards the end of the oven if you want. Cheese on asparagus? I've never thought about that. Have you guys ever had? I'm asking my hubby and my daughter. If Zoe? All right, yeah, I know that's not a big chunk of onions, but it's just 3 of us eating tonight with that. So as long as I do have some of this onion flavor, I will still be using some onion powder also as part of the mix. Really, I probably should have cut this a little bit more. I don't know how I'm going to do this now. Because it doesn't have to be pretty on the cut, but just as long as we get the flavor, right? As long as we're getting the flavor of this. Like I said, when it comes to the onions, and I do apologize if anybody's chatting. I'm not looking at it right now. But welcome in. Good evening. Hafa Adai. But as long as we're getting the flavor out of this, that is the main key. But all right. So we have this, and we'll put this aside. And then I will, once I get the meat cooking, I will pop this in get this ready. But I want to go ahead and prep the meat. Come on. I should have saved one of the other bags. I don't want this to be dripping everywhere. Probably should have used the sharper knife. Between the two, I believe this is the sharper one. Like I said, this is going to be the first time that I'm actually cooking it this way. I normally, where's the bone? Where's the bone? I don't like this part. This is the hard part for me, is just finding where this part is. Sorry if I'm not chatting too much. How's everybody tonight? Thank you so much for those of you guys that are here watching. Please don't forget to smash that like button while you're here. You don't have to chat, but if you feel like it, drop in the chat where you're watching from. And what's your favorite protein when it comes to ribs? Do you prefer pork or do you prefer beef? And just like that, we're done cutting up the meat. All right. So why don't you guys come on over here to the pot. Let's see, with Terry, you said, I have a really good order. I'll be back. Okay, Terry. Hey, Plant Hoarder, New Jersey, welcome in. In case you are new to my channel, I am streaming to you from central part of Texas, north of Austin. All right, let's go ahead and turn the heat on. I do have it sitting at about just a little above medium. And normally, yes, the, beef is usually our go-to when it comes to protein also. But tonight, it is going to be pork. All right, let me grab... Once my pot is heated up a little bit, I'm going to throw in some olive oil. And then I'll throw in my onions and let that cook for a couple of minutes until it's just a tad translucent. Now, when it comes to the sauce, for the adobo, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. When it comes to the sauce for the adobo, you can actually just throw it in there as the meat is cooking, but you can also prep it before you toss it in there, which is what I'm going to do, because I just want to make sure, being this is the first time I am making pork adobo with the ribs, so I am going to go ahead and mix the soy sauce, which I like using the gluten-free one. Growing up, Kikkoman soy sauce was the #1 brand that we used in Guam, and it was the regular one, red. But when a few years ago I started using gluten-free soy sauce, and I tell you, I noticed the difference. I still love the taste of this one, but I noticed the difference when I use this compared to the regular one. And some vinegar, and I am going to add some water also. That way, if it's too acidic because of the vinegar, you can add a little bit more soy sauce, or you can add a little bit more water, but at least you can have the general flavor going on with the sauce before you add it to the meat. And of course, once all the ingredients are combined as it's cooking, it is going to change the flavor. So even at that point, you're going to alter it by either adding, one of the three ingredients, soy sauce, vinegar, or water. But for those of you guys that are just popping in case you guys missed the question earlier, since I am working with pork ribs tonight, what is your favorite protein when it comes to the ribs? Do you prefer pork or beef? And I do thank Plant Hoarder for answering that the first time around. He chose beef, which is the same for us. We normally would go for beef. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit more. Now it's at medium high. And I do have my rice going. Oh, yeah. Actually, I need to finish this one. And you'll notice a lot of people who cook often, when they're not trying to teach how to make stuff, we normally don't measure. Measurements, psh, what's that? So, adobo is kind of like a stew. It's going to be meat and there is going to be some sauce. But it's not going to be soupy. Combine it well. Again, I'm just cooking for my family, so it's okay if I do this. I think it was just a tad on the acidic side. All right, I'm going to turn down the heat now that I see that the pan. Add maybe about a tablespoon. Now that's about a tablespoon. I just want to coat the wok a little bit before I end up adding the onions. We'll let the onions saute for a couple of minutes until it starts to get just a tad translucent. And then we're going to go ahead and add the meat. Hey Colleen, good evening. How are you? You're just starting to get to the fun part. So the question of the hour is, if you like ribs, which do you prefer more, pork or beef? I've only had one person answer so far, but that's okay. We got a lot of shy people. But as long as y'all are watching, I'm happy. And before I add the meat, I am going to throw in some onion powder. I meant garlic powder. And I do have some of the sauce already pre-mixed. Oh, hey Janine. Good evening and thank you for answering. So we got another one for beef and we got one for pork. All right. Now let's go ahead and add the meat. I do like garlic. Is that the lid? No, that's not the lid. I'm just making a mess on the floor. I am going to try and let the pork cook for a few minutes before I add the sauce. So I kind of want these to brown a little bit. Just adding a touch more onion flavor to it. But while that is browning a little bit, we're going to go ahead and move on over here. And we are going to work on this lovely. Huh? Oh, your mom's in the chat? Oh, you're on the phone? Oh, hey Ma, Hafa Adai. All right, let me just give this a quick rinse. So when I was showing this to my mom, because she was pretty surprised to see that this is what I was going to be making as part of the sides, the vegetable portion of our dish tonight. But she was like, make sure you cut that bottom part. And I was like, which part? So I had to show it to her. And I was like, you talking about where the purple rubber band is at? She's like, bring it down some more. So she says, because she says this is the harder part of the stem of the asparagus. So from where the purple stem is, or rubber band is at, is where I'll be putting or cutting it. I thought it would be ready. Whoops. Gimme. I'm trying to get my parchment paper. There we go. Oops. All right. I like using this parchment paper whenever I'm baking. And these are the pre-cut. So you don't have to worry about measuring or anything like that. So where'd the other zip bags go? All right, here we go. I don't know. I'm just gonna cut everything, or does it show that I don't know what I'm doing with? I snap my, oh, you snap it? You just snap them off? Oh, that's fun. I prefer that. I used to do that growing up. It would be, this one looks like it's already been snapped. So, well, that's fun. That's a little therapeutic. Alright. I don't want the ribs to completely cook before I have a chance to put the sauce in there. So, some of them are still a little pink. But I'm going to go ahead and toss this in there. And let's keep snapping. Question is, and thanks for that tip, Ma. Boy, like I said, isn't that a little therapeutic? You know how you get those bubble wrappers? And what do you do after you're done? Easy peasy, time consuming to snap. That is true. That is true. But while that's cooking, this is giving me time, and it shouldn't take too long to cook. But, what do you call that? We used to pop those all the time. I was trying to put the snap piece over here. All right. I think that's... Hey, babe, come here, please. Are you guys going to eat a lot of asparagus? Zoe? Huh? Did you say probably? Babe, how much asparagus are you going to want? Do you think this is good? I've never had asparagus. It's going to be the first time. That's good? Yeah. Okay. Hey, Caleb. And by the way, I didn't get to say this, but Laurel, hello, good evening. Hey, Shannon, Roy. Sorry, you guys, if I'm missing anybody that's coming into the chat. So I'm just putting it into the bag because I do want to coat it with a little bit of olive oil. Drizzle a little bit of that in there. Yummy. I love me some olive oil. And then I am going to season it with this buttery garlic herb. Found this at Costco, and I love using this. I really do. I use it to season my vegetables and meat. You think that's too much? And then let's give this a little shake, rattle and roll. All right. Look at that. Poked right through the hole. It jabbed a hole in the bag. That's funny. I just want to make sure this is going to be nice and coated with the olive oil and the seasoning. All right, let's check this first. Turn this heat back up. Reposition some of the meat that is browning faster than others. This one's still pink, so that one's going to go to the middle. You go to the middle, you go to the middle. We want to make sure they're all having a chance to cook evenly in the sauce. Get in there. Just turn you around. All right. Let that cook a couple more minutes. You definitely don't want to taste that until all the meat that you see in there is no longer pink. All right, so here is the asparagus. Trying to make sure they're not all too close to each other. Space them out a little bit. Let's just put just a little bit more. Not that I'm trying to hide the flavor of the asparagus. That's not what I'm doing here. Hey, John. Good evening. Thank you for popping in. I'm just getting ready to toss the asparagus into the oven. And then in the pot, I've got some pork adobo cooking. Hey, babe. Can you move this from the counter over here, please? I can't. The candle stuff, and I don't want to touch it with you. Yeah.
Everybody watches 15-year-old coffee cup full.
That's 15 years of flavor you just washed away.
Seasoned it right.
Good evening, Tornado. That's right. Welcome to the Waffle House. Guess I didn't need that knife. Look at that. Like I said, with the adobo, for anybody who's familiar with this dish, it has a little bit of a sauce to it, or stew, and for those of you guys that weren't here at the start of the live stream, when I was getting ready to make this, I thought I was making stufao. Stufao is I guess like a stew version of kuddu, which is soup in Chamorro. But my mom told me that when you're working with ribs or pork, it's called adobo. And I asked her why. She's like, I don't know. It's just called adobo when you're working with pork. So this is tonight's dinner. Let's switch places with some of these that are browning nicely. You can go up here. You come down here. This needs to be turned. You need to be turned. Let's switch you out. Flip you over. Get you in that sauce. I'll know here in a little bit, like maybe another 5 or so minutes, once I don't see any more bleeding going on. I'm going to taste the sauce to see if I don't need to add anything else like vinegar, water, or soy sauce. So we'll let that cook for another few more minutes before we test that out. You know how it is when you're hungry and then you start to smell food and then you're even more hungry. So I am starving. And that's the great thing about this dish is that it doesn't take long, but to help fight my hunger, I'm going to snack on some carrots. This pot that I'm using, I actually got from my daughter Lexi. Can you guys smell that?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
When I just asked if you guys can smell that, my hubby just said, yep, I'm starving. Here, have a carrot. You want a carrot? You like the wood handles? Yeah, she when we moved into this house, as part of a housewarming for us, she got us a different kind of set that has this, like that marble finish to it. I use it so much that it's no longer non-stick. So I told her, I was like, nah, I need to find me a replacement, because once your pan is no longer, non-stick, you want to be careful. When I saw that she, because she was actually replacing her pans, and she wanted to get rid of this one, and I'm like, I'll take it. Because it reminds me of the set that she had gotten us, and I really like it. Trying to make sure all the meat has a chance to sit in the sauce. Because the good thing about having enough sauce when you're eating this, whether it's with pork or even chicken, when you prep it with chicken, it's called stufao, which is like a stew. It's not very soupy like a soup. It doesn't, or should I say, it doesn't have a lot of liquid like a soup. But once I stop seeing a more, or should I say less blood in here, I'm going to taste the sauce to see if I need to add any more to it. One more carrot. Okay, grandbaby home. Got to go. Okay, Colleen. Have a good night, and thank you for being here. I can't smell the food. I can only compliment when I can see. The rice is done. It looks like I have at least 5 more minutes on the asparagus. How many of you guys have had asparagus before? I tried to ask my daughter and my hubby. I was like, what does it taste like? And then all they could tell me was like, asparagus. That's not telling me anything. Because I was thinking green beans. Basically the same way that I'm cooking the asparagus is the way I was going to do the green beans. But they can't tell me. They can't tell me how asparagus, what does it taste like? I know one of my other sisters, when she makes this, she puts bay leaves in there. And I believe with the chicken, though. When she does it with the chicken. All right, let's switch out some of the meats. Come on, you guys. Get in there and get in the bath. Get in that bath. It tastes like butter, preferably boiled in. It has a strange mushy texture you wouldn't expect. That doesn't sound appetizing, Tornado, when you tell me a mushy texture. Steamed. Hey, Brian, good evening, and Hafa Adai. Steamed asparagus is stringy usually. Well, this, like I said, tonight, two items on our plate is the first time I'm making it. The adobo, the pork adobo, and asparagus. So here's hoping that it still comes out pretty decent. It looks so yum. Smell it. Smell it. Eat me. Eat me. Probably shouldn't be doing that because that steam is what's helping keep the ribs cooking. At least for me, when you keep whatever it is you're cooking, especially after a certain temperature, which I'm going to go ahead and lower this down a little bit to just below medium, the sauce doesn't evaporate. Alright, so the timer went off for my asparagus. I'm going to go check on that. Man, that tastes good. Or at least just the flavor. The seasoning that I used for the asparagus. Now again, I was told to put some butter on it. So I'm going to put some butter on it. I'm going to melt a little bit of butter. So how's that? All right. I think it's safe enough to try the sauce. Hey, babe, can you come try this? I don't know if it's the soy sauce or vinegar. The sauce. Hold on, I added just a little bit more water. I don't know if it's just a tad too much soy sauce or a tad bit too acidic. What do you think? More soy sauce, more water? Tastes good? All right. One more try.
tastes happy for the water.
Mmm. 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 I'm torn. Hey, Carolyn. Good evening and Hafa Adai. What I've got in the pot tonight for y'all is the first time that I've made this. It's a dish that you'll find in Guam, the Philippines, but it's called pork adobo, which I've got pork ribs in there and I made a sauce out of vinegar, soy sauce, and some water. But I can't put my finger on it. I don't know if I need to add just a tad bit more soy sauce. Let's just do a splash. Just a splash of soy sauce. Hi, BLS. No chicken necks. This is ribs, pork ribs. And the way it was prepared, it's known as adobo. And then I also baked up some asparagus. All right, just turn that down a tad. All right. I'm gonna cut up some green onions. Let me rinse this. The green onions, I thought about adding it when it was still cooking, but my mom told me you don't want to do that. This is more of like a dressing. When you're plating, it's when you'll toss, you know, some of the green onions on top of it. So don't want a lot of dressing, so it's just a little bit. So then that way you add it to your plate. You put the ribs and the rice, which let me check the rice here real quick. Excuse me. Hey babe, you want to come try this? One of the asparagus? Like I said, I've never made asparagus before, so bear with me. But hubby's gonna come try it. But here's the asparagus, just so y'all can see it. Wow! You want to take one of the smaller ones? Like that one?
Like what?
That one?
That one?
Mm-hmm.
Right there?
Don't go anywhere. I want to see your face.
Hot.
It's hot? Oh, I still hear some crunch. How is it? Good? It's crunchy? Do I need to put it back in the oven? Huh? I can't hear what you're saying.
No.
No? It's good? All right. I've never made asparagus before, so my hubby gave it the thumbs up. Adobo, you know, green onion is a nice garnish. Way better than a toothpick with a golf with a golf flag. Ozzy, I would eat the whole tray. Hey, nieces, good evening. Are you telling me you guys like asparagus too? Am I the only one who's been missing out on something? But there you go. You have the pork adobo. You have asparagus. So let me go ahead and make a plate so y'all can see. Y'all can see what we're having. I normally eat a lot more rice, but I'm making my hubby's plate. And then we're going to get some asparagus. And then we're going to drizzle some green onions on top. And then, here we go. Here we go. Take some of this yummy sauce. Drizzle on the meat. Drizzle some on the rice. And then, not done. And then okay, it's not melted enough. Melt some more. That first pop tells me you're done. Yes. And then just adding some butter. Drizzling some butter on the asparagus. I'm probably gonna drown mine. All right, babe, you get to be the one to try this. Everyone wants to get your opinion.
What?
Everyone wants to get your opinion. No, I meant you got to come here and try the plate. No, you gotta come here. Put the plate back down.
What? Agreed.
I know. Put the plate down. Okay, you can pick up the ribs.
Well, I don't want to do that. Tell me what to do.
I know. I'm putting you on the spot, babe.
Yeah, no. Yeah, cut off the.
There you go. Cut a piece of that. Tell me what you
Not that I needed
think.
a knife, I guess, but
What do you think?
delicious amount.
Can you cut up a piece of meat for me? I want to try it.
No, my food.
All right, back down. Cut up a small. Sorry. You can have another piece too.
Can I?
Yes.
Oh, I had to cut that one.
Uh-oh. Okay, yeah. Like I said, I'm doing more rice with mine. My hair is standing up. But like I said, that's pork adobo. Should I try it in front of y'all? So, watching on TV, I don't think it's supposed to be that limp. But when he was eating it, there still was a little bit of a crunch when he was eating it. So, wait. I got my melted butter right here. So, let me try it. Let me try it first with just the seasoning. Maybe I might have added just a tad bit too much seasoning, but that's good. I mean,
that was close to the bone. That's why I had to cut a little hard. It's not hard to chew.
honestly, it's not bad at all, and I do like it with butter. It reminds me of green beans. I like asparagus. I'll just have to remember when I bake it the next time, not to get too season happy, because just a little seasoning on this goes a long way with the garlic. That's good. I really like it with the butter and the seasoning. It toned down that because like I said, I might have just over seasoned it just a little bit, just a little bit. But when I was dipping it in the butter, it toned it down. So that's really good. I'm liking asparagus. I didn't cook all of it tonight. So the next time I make something, maybe with the chicken or something like that, I will make the baked asparagus again. But yeah. So what'd you say? Yes, we all know that thing about asparagus. Asparagus is good for you. You just have to make it taste good. True. That is true. Like I said, with that seasoning that I used, the garlic herb that I found at Costco, I really love using that seasoning for anything I'm cooking. Put it on meat, vegetables, whatever. I just need to make sure I cut back on it just a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit. I probably didn't need to give it that one extra coating, but right before putting it into the oven. But butter also brings it out. You can pickle asparagus as well. Really? And it remains crunchy? Does it remain crunchy afterwards? My hair is still standing up. Down. Down. There we go. And pickled green beans. Now, like I said, that asparagus that I just ate, it reminds me of green beans, and I like green beans. So I can do asparagus. But I guess it also just depends on how it's prepared, right? On it's going to make a difference with it or not. But I also just want to say, other than Siju is Maasi, thank you guys for being here. But this journey to get my channel fully monetized definitely has been an adventure. I am slowly but surely moving back up. February of this year, the highest I got to was just over 3,600 watch hours. And then it started to plummet because a lot of videos and live streams that were hitting their 1 year mark, I started to lose the watch hours. Well, anyways, in this past week, I finally, because I went down as low as 2,700. But as of this morning, or should I say 5 days ago, according to YouTube, I am now sitting at 3,260. So I've still maybe got about 60 or 70 watch hours that have not been accounted for, but I still do have other videos and live streams that are hitting their 1 year mark. From now through December 1st, I'm going to be losing almost 300 watch hours. So I've got to double that. I got to make over 300 watch hours just to not, fall back down. And then another 300 on top of that just to keep moving forward and not sliding back. So having you guys here during my live streams, whether I'm cooking, crafting, or doing gig work, we're out traveling, whatever it may be, I really do appreciate it. I really, really do appreciate it. And I do hope that y'all will keep coming back every time I do my live streams and when I put out videos, which I did release one earlier this morning. So y'all go check it out if you haven't already done so, please. But again, Sijus Maasi, thank you guys so much for being here. And for everybody that is going through something, whether it be physical or mental, I do hope that you are going to get better, that every day gets better, to full recovery. But again, thank you guys. Please stay safe out there, whether you're doing any type of gig work. Say hi to the hubby. Smile, babes. He gave you guys a smile. But again, how was it? Did you eat it all?
No, I'm waiting for my wife.
I'm
still eating though, but
okay.
I'm starting.
Yeah, he's like, he doesn't want to continue eating until I start eating. So I have to end the live stream so I can start eating. But you guys stay safe. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Love you guys. Adios for now.
Love you, bye.
Bye, everybody.